What's going on, YouTube? That guy right here coming at you with my mock draft 3.0 for the 2024 draft class. If you enjoyed my previous ones or haven't checked them out, go ahead, check them out, hit the thumbs up button, share, and make sure you hit that subscribe button for more NFL content, draft, news, Madden, and other types of content that I post on my channel. It's definitely going to be a really big day, going to be a lot of blockbuster trades, I believe. Maybe not, we'll see, because there's so many good players available. But, without further ado, let's just go ahead and dive into it. So, first overall pick doesn't really require much discussion, in my personal opinion, right? Caleb Williams, I would like to play a little bit of different scenarios just so we could have a little bit of conversation when it comes to this. But, Caleb Williams is solidified himself as the #1 pick, generational QB prospect. Probably the best QB prospect since Andrew Luck, at least. Offers you a lot of good off-script playability. Is surrounded with really good talent for this year. DeAndre Swift, Keenan Allen, some key pickups for them. Gerald Everett, some tight end depth. There's a little bit of speculation as to them picking Brock Bowers 9. Unless you're going to play him at the slot, I don't really see it. You just pick up Gerald Everett. You have Cole Kmet. I don't want to get too ahead of myself. We're on the first pick, but Caleb Williams is set up for success for the Chicago Bears. And that brings us to #2. And here I'm going to stay consistent. I do believe it is going to be Jayden Daniels. I just believe he's going to fit what Cliff Kingsbury wants to run on on his offense, right? Jayden Daniels is a very mobile quarterback. He's pretty accurate on all 3 levels, passing. And the Commanders hope to finally have their quarterback in Jayden Daniels. And I personally would rather have Drake May. And I don't think the reason they're taking Jayden Daniels is because they're afraid to take another UNC quarterback. They took Sam Howell in like the 6th round. That doesn't have any sway in my opinion. It's just the fit that Jayden Daniels will have with Cliff Kingsbury just makes a lot more sense to me, I guess. But that takes us to the 3rd overall pick, and we got the New England Patriots picking with Gerard Mayo at head coach. I've already thought about maybe potentially doing the scenario in which they trade out, but it doesn't really make sense to me. You have the chance to take a quarterback this year. I think Drake May is better than any quarterback next year. He's better than Quinn Ewers, Shedeur Sanders, and company. So I'm just going to stick here. Patriots get their guy. My top 3 stays consistent here. Drake May, a little bit down because of his down year, but he has the tools to be a very successful NFL quarterback. And it's going to be interesting to see if the Patriots, what they could do and if they could even develop him. But yeah, there you go. Patriots get their guy. Commanders get their guy. And Bears get their guy at quarterback to fill that space. Now, that takes us to the 4th pick, the Arizona Cardinals. And in my first 2 mock drafts, I had them trading down. I feel like, the price that they're going to get is overwhelming. But the question is whether teams are going to pay. I don't necessarily know exactly what they want, right? Neither do we. It says that they want 3 first, but you never know what they truly want. But what if their price is too high, right? Right here you have a generational receiving prospect in Marvin Harrison Jr. available that, you're not really too adamant about moving down in this draft. So, in this scenario that I'm going to play right now, they're going to stick and pick Marvin Harrison Jr. Gives Kyler Murray the outside weapon that he's long needed. This guy hasn't had an elite receiver in his whole career. And Marvin Harrison Jr. is the best receiving prospect in this draft. Calvin Johnson-esque. Not downplaying the rest of these guys like Neighbors and Odunze, but Marvin Harrison's on a different level. In their own respects, Malik Neighbors and Rome Odunze would definitely be the first receiver picked in their own independent draft class, which just to show how highly Marvin Harrison Jr. is looked at. So there you go. The Cardinals lock their guy, and they get Marvin Harrison Jr. to help out Kyler Murray. Now here, we've got the Chargers picking at #5. This is where I believe we have a trade down spot, and this is where I think I'm going to have the same team I always have trading up. I'm going to make the trade happen. All right, well, we obviously aren't going to know the specifics of the trade exactly. But for sure it's going to be 11 and 23, which is what they traded for. I see them trading up. Chargers trade down 5. They have a lot of holes. I know they really need a receiver, and I could really see them sticking and picking Malik Neighbors here or even Rome Odunze, but in this scenario, I just think it makes too much sense for them to trade down. We'll see what they get, right? But right here, propose the trade. Trade is accepted, and the Vikings are now picking at number 5, and they're going to pick none other than J.J. McCarthy, who I've had them taking in every mock. You know, he doesn't have much tape passing, but he does have the skills. He's a pretty fast quarterback, has a really good arm, very raw, very young, and he just has what, you know, a lot of GMs like in a college quarterback. You know, he's a winner. He makes big plays in big moments. You know, 3rd and 4th down, I think he was the best passer in college football statistically. But J.J. McCarthy, Vikings get their guy. He's probably in a better situation than Caleb. I mean, he's got an offensive head coach in Kevin O'Connell. He's got Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson. Running game is suspect. A pretty good O-line. T.J. Hockenson when he comes back from injury. He's in a really good spot. And, you know, I wouldn't be surprised that if in this scenario J.J. McCarthy would succeed in the NFL level. And I've said it, I believe, in my last mock draft. But he's just with New York picking at number 6, and they desperately need receiver help. Second best receiver in the draft, in my opinion. Has the potential to be the best, but so does every player have the potential to be the best, right? Malik Neighbors here. Really just great after the catch receiver. Something that the Giants have also like lacked. They haven't really had an elite offensive weapon other than Saquon Barkley, right? I guess this is Daniel Jones' last shot. I mean, I know they're done with him. I could see them possibly trying to trade up for a J.J. McCarthy, or if the Patriots want to trade down for a Drake May. But, you know, receivers a really big need. They fill that need. Malik Neighbors is their guy. All right, so Titans picking at number 7. I'm just going to stick right here with Joe Alt. They desperately need offensive tackle. They get the best offensive tackle prospect in the draft. Fill that need. Boost up that O-line, protect Will Levis, and support that run game for Tony Pollard, right? And, I mean, it's just a really big need for the Titans, and you know, O-line's the building block of a team, and you got to build that that offensive line for sure. But that takes us to the number 8 overall pick, you know, the Falcons, and I'm pretty sure I had them trading down in my last mock, but I'm gonna have them just sticking here as well. A little bit less trades this time, and they're gonna take Dallas Turner. I mean, they have a very defensive-minded head coach now, and they really do need that edge rusher, that real edge rusher, and Dallas Turner is that guy for them. They go ahead, they take him, and you know, I think he's going to be a really effective weapon for them. Going down to number 9, you have the Chicago Bears picking again. And I'm sitting here, I'm thinking, okay, what do they need? I mean, they could use another edge rusher, maybe. I mean, I'm going to have an insane pick here. I'm going to have them take Rome Odunze. Just kind of makes a little bit of sense. They really do need to think life after Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen's old, has had some injury concerns on and off. But I mean, Rome Odunze at worst is going to play it in the slot, and you just bolster that offense for the future and give Kyler Murray his wide receiver 1 for sure. I mean, Rome Odunze, the best 50-50 ball prospect in this draft, probably. Marvin Harrison does have a debate. With Rome Odunze, it's an 80-20 ball. And yeah, the Bears could definitely capitalize here, get another weapon for Caleb Williams, and just go right off into the sunset for the future. Really good first round for the Bears here. And you got the Jets at number 10. And here's where I kind of start to think, I mean, could they just take a Brock Bowers? Right. Could they take an O-lineman? I mean, they did get 2 guys, right? You got Morgan Moses and Tyron Smith from Dallas, but pretty aged, right? I'm gonna have them, and you know, I've seen him drop in drafts recently, but I might have them just take Olu Fashanu. really good prospect there out of Penn State. Just bolster their depth in case of an injury. Olu Fashanu is going to learn a lot behind Tyron Smith. And, you know, it just gives them that O-line protection that they need for the future and also maybe now, right? That's leading us right here to the Chargers at number 11. They need an offensive weapon really bad. They need a receiver really bad. But I'm going to have them take the best, probably the best receiver left, right? And maybe a top 3 receiver in himself, Brock Bowers. This guy's just going to make this offense really explosive, you know, and there's receivers down the board that they could even take. You know, they could go 2 receivers or 2 pass catchers, I guess you could call him. I don't want to be calling him a receiver, but because Brock Bowers could block, Brock Bowers could play on the inside like a traditional tight end, but just all his skills and his tape athleticism just show that this guy can do it on all levels, and that's the type of weapon you need when you really don't have any weapons, and Chargers get their guy here. Now at number 12, you got Denver picking. And again, they don't really have their guy, in my opinion. I have them take Bo Nix. I think Bo Nix makes a lot of sense here. The type of quarterback Sean Payton likes, quick passes. That's what Bo Nix is. And Bo Nix is a pretty tough guy, and he went through a lot of adversity. He's not the same Bo Nix from Auburn. He's pretty accurate in the quick game, fairly athletic, and him and Sean Payton will definitely work very well together. And that's why I think the Broncos are going to reach here, right, and take Bo Nix. Don't risk trading down in case, you know, Vegas wants him, in case, and maybe the Saints want him, maybe Seattle. I mean, even though Seattle just traded for Sam Howell, you never know what team is going to trade up and take your guy. So that's why I feel like we're going to have a little bit of a reach here. Bo Nix, 12. I feel like I've locked that down. Now, number 13, we got the Raiders. The Raiders here, I mean, they really need O-line. They're probably a little bit upset that Olu Fashanu is gone, but take a guy like Talise Fuanga. Fills that need that they need. They could probably address quarterback a little later. I mean, you have guys like the likes of Spencer Rattler, maybe a Joe Milton, even a Michael Penix if he falls out of the first round to like trade up for. They really need O-line really bad, and this fills that need for them. And I mean, the Raiders could go a lot of ways because they need a lot, but I'm going to just have them take O-line here. Kind of same thing as the Titans, I believe I said. You know, they need a lot of things. Got to just build that O-line, though. And that's what the Raiders do here. So number 14, we have the Saints picking. And I'm going to have this as a trade-up spot. So I'm going to go do that right now. All right, so I'm gonna have the Jaguars trading with the Saints. This is not gonna be the return at all, but I just had to do it like this to make it go through. But it's gonna be a pick swap probably. Saints might give up a 3rd or 4th round pick here, just trading up 3 spots. Want to trade up ahead of the Colts, who might take a corner here, and they're gonna take their corner here, and Quinyon Mitchell, who burst onto the scene in the Senior Bowl. Shows a lot of good coverage skills and fills a need that the Jaguars desperately have in corner. Which leads us right here to number 15 with the Colts, who probably wanted Quinyon Mitchell. But, right, I mean, I don't necessarily think they're too mad about it. They could go a plethora of ways here. But I have them take Cooper DeJean here. A little bit of a, I guess, draft reach. But, you know, this guy could play everywhere. This guy's super freakishly athletic. And it just fits, you know, what the Colts like to draft, those freak athlete type players. They take Cooper DeJean here, who could play slot corner, outside corner, even safety. So, you know, and they really need help in that secondary. And Cooper DeJean is going to be a good step in that direction. Here you got... the Seahawks picking at 16. Again, Seahawks, I mean, is it too early for interior offensive line? Maybe. I'm just gonna go ahead. I'm gonna have them go Byron Murphy. With Mike McDonald there, definitely probably gonna want to boost that defense, as well as that defensive line. You know, the pass rush is very important, and Byron Murphy is, in my opinion, DT1. He's just a very disruptive interior defensive lineman, and you know, Seattle's gonna utilize him very well with Mike McDonald, and maybe he becomes like a Justin Madubuike, I believe I'm saying that right, Madubuike, for them, and you know, it becomes a very successful defensive tackle for the long-term future of the Seahawks. Here, the Saints pick at 17. Someone commented this in my last video. I completely forgot, because I forget about the Ryan Ramczyk injury, the freak injury that he has right now. But I'm gonna have them go ahead and they're gonna go J.C. Latham here. Just a very solid overall offensive line prospect for a team that desperately needs tackle, right? And you know, it's just something that I really missed last time. And you know, they're gonna snag their guy here, fix that O-line a bit, and you know, just hopefully hope Ryan Ramczyk comes back, right? But in case not, you got J.C. Latham right now, right? So at number 18, we've had a little bit of a slip. I don't really know if this is going to happen, but Bengals say they're going to keep T. Higgins. Still going to have them take Brian Thomas Jr. just in case they can't lock him up. This guy's insane. 18 touchdowns, I believe, led the NCAA, that I know. And he's going to be a really, really lethal weapon here for the Bengals. I had it last time. I have it again. LSU connection. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Brian Thomas, even though he was not a part of that team. But I'm going to take another LSU guy here and just give Joe Burrow another elite prospect weapon here. At number 19 here, I'm trying to think. All right, it's like Philly's a type of team that maybe they want to trade up for a corner, even though I don't see any other corners dropping, right? I mean, Jared Versus fell a bit. So is Laiatu Latu, Terrion Arnold. I mean, I'm just going to have the Rams take. I mean, that's another team that needs a lot. Might have them just take Laiatu Latu, keep him in LA. I mean, this guy's the most complete edge prospect in the draft. Just injuries, you know, medically retired. I'm sure you guys have heard that story. Kind of like Jalen Phillips. But Laiatu Latu's medicals have looked really good, and you know, if he could stay healthy, I'm pretty sure he'll end up being the best edge rusher in this draft, and I'm fairly confident in that, based off the analysis of others. But that brings us to Pittsburgh here at 20, and I'm gonna have them take Troy Fautanu. Gives them the O-line flexibility that they need. You know, he can play tackle, could kick into guard in the next level. We don't know. But we do know that Pittsburgh needs O-line help. They get their O-line help in Troy Fautanu. And, man, you take that, right? You're going to take that that flexibility that he has to offer. That's very valuable on the next level. But right here, we got Miami at number 21. I mean, they have a lot of injuries right now, right? And I mean, with a guy like Jared Verse on the board, do you take the chance on him? Maybe. Maybe. But they need more interior defensive line. I don't think they would take Jer'Zhan Newton here. I think I'm just going to stick with like a pick that I think I've done before, Jackson Powers-Johnson to Miami here in this case. Jackson Powers-Johnson burst onto the scene in the Senior Bowl as well, boosted his draft stock, pretty much dominated, and I believe the one-on-one drills, and even in his play, he's a big reason for that run game success at Oregon. And you know, Miami gets a guy that they could play at guard or center. I mean, we'll see what he plays. There's a few pretty good center prospects here, but I'm just going to have it like this right now. Jackson Powers-Johnson, I believe, will be the first one taken off the board. Now you got Philly picking. And wow, I've had him fall, really. I guess so. I don't think this is gonna happen. But Terrion Arnold, maybe you never know. A lot of these corners are fairly close in rankings, but Terrion Arnold happens to fall here to Philly. I mean, they really need a corner. I've said it a lot. They really need a corner really bad. They get their corner here. Guy burst onto the scene this year with Kool-Aid McKinstry not being targeted as much. Terrion Arnold was targeted and did very well in coverage. So they get a potential CB1 here for the future. And this defense is loaded with young talent. So the Chargers here is interesting. Because is there anyone that anyone would trade up for here? Or would anyone trade up here? I mean, receivers wise, I wouldn't say there's anyone worth trading up for. I mean, they already got their tight end. We're just going to have them go ahead and take a mix of best player available and need for them. Right? I'd say. Nate Wiggins. Ooh, actually. You know what? At this rate, let's just give them Jared Verse. I mean, I feel like it makes sense. Like, the way this board has fallen. Yeah. Because, you know, the thing is, I mean, Joey Bosa is questionable, right? And Khalil Mack is getting old. And you need that guy of the future, and Jared Verse could be that. And it's a guy that you could develop and take your time with. And he's very raw, and, you know, getting him at 23 is a steal. Considering that he was like a consensus top 5 pick pre-college season. But there you go, Chargers get their guy. I mean, best player available, right? You got to take it when you can. And that leaves the Cowboys here at 24. I know I haven't done many trades in this one, but this is a scenario where everyone sticks and picks. Maybe. I mean, Cowboys here also, I mean, as a Cowboy fan, we have a lot of holes. I'm gonna just have us take Amarius Mims. I feel like that's just a perfect Cowboys pick. You know, he didn't play many college games, but he has the tools, he has the size, and Dallas is really, really, really good at developing O-line. I mean, look at Tyler Smith. I mean, that guy was seen as a bust as when we drafted him, and he's probably, if not the one of the best left guards in the league. And as a Cowboy fan, this is kind of biased. I want to keep him at guard. I don't see a need to put him at tackle. He's good there. Leave him there. Take a tackle. There's plenty. I mean, you got Tyler Guyton, Kingsley Suamataia, Jordan Morgan, guys down the board that you could, you know, you could take. So don't stress. You don't need to take a guard. I mean, even if like one of these guys, they're centers, you know. I mean, they could play center or guard. It gives you flexibility, but I think they should go tackle. They go tackle here, Amarius Mims, and maybe he develops into another Tyron Smith for you. Packers here at 25. They get lucky. Nate Wiggins falls to them. A lot of players are going to fall in this draft at the end of the day, right? You never know who is going to end up where, because there's so much offensive talent in this draft that these defenders are going to fall naturally. You know, Nate Wiggins, CB1 potential, but definitely going to be really, really good across from Jair Alexander. The Packers are a dangerous young team, and they get another young corner across from Jair Alexander. This defense is going to be scary. They've drafted straight defense. That offense is scary. They need a weapon, maybe. I don't know. But Packers get their guy here, Nate Wiggins. Here you got the Bucks picking. This is another team that desperately needs corner. They could also use edge. I'm going to have them take Chop Robinson. Very twitchy, electric, and explosive edge rusher out of Penn State. He's a bit of a project and dependent on his tools, but if developed, can be a very, very disruptive player on the next level. So that leaves us with the Cardinals at 27. And they already got their receiver. If we're looking at their needs here, I'm just having to take best player available. This is a team that needs the best player available, right? 2 first-round picks here. getting Johnny Newton at 27 is really good. Taking a defensive tackle is big for this team. Their pass rush is not really that good. And Johnny Newton could be the foundation for that, so that's why they take him here. At 28, you got the Bills picking. I don't see them picking anyone but receiver. Let's do someone different, though. I'm going to have them take Troy Franklin. Big weapon there out of Oregon. Bo Nix, #1 target. Desperately need a receiver. They'll take any of these guys over who they have right now. They get Troy Franklin in this scenario. Lions picking at 29 here. I'm going to have them take Kool-Aid McKinstry. They need a cornerback. Kool-Aid McKinstry was a consensus top 10 pick himself, similar to Jared Verse. Just happens to fall here as well, and has fallen down boards a lot. But for a corner needy team, Kool-Aid McKinstry finds his home with Dan Campbell there in Motor City, and probably is going to find success there due to, you know, just being with Motor City Dan Campbell, right? Like, what else do I have to say about that? At 30 here, you've got Baltimore picking. This team could use a receiver as well, right? They could also use a tackle because they lost Morgan Moses. I'm gonna have them take Tyler Guyton here, offensive tackle out of Oklahoma, to replace Morgan Moses. They need. I mean, they're very dependent on their O-line because, you know, these are the type of style of offense that they run with John Harbaugh. And, you know, taking a guy like Tyler Guyton here at 30 is definitely, I would say, a B+ pick for them, but an A+ in filling a need. And that leaves us with 31. You got San Fran picking. And this is another team that could use almost anything here. But I'm going to have this another trade-up spot, so I'm going to go work on that right now. So I had the Giants trading up. Again, this is not going to be the competition at all, but I have the Giants trading up here to number 31. And you guessed it, they're going to take Michael Penix Jr. So, I mean, this draft is insane for the Giants right now. You got Malik Neighbors. You got Michael Penix. Daniel Jones, I'm so iffy on him. I don't think they really believe in him. But I don't think they're going to be able to have enough capital to trade up like the Vikings do. I mean, even though, you know, it kind of makes sense, you're moving down only 2 picks, could still get your guy, but maybe they don't want to pull the trigger on McCarthy. Maybe they like Drake May, but they can't get him. The Patriots don't want to trade that pick. They get Michael Penix here at 31. Not trading much, making sure that, you know, another team like maybe, you know, let's see, like the Raiders here, or maybe Seattle, or maybe the Saints, they don't trade back up and take your guy. You get your guy here, Michael Penix, and you have an A+ draft here. But leaving us with the Chiefs at 32. I do think this is going to be receiver. They get Adonai Mitchell here. Really good pick for them. I mean, to pair Adonai Mitchell with Hollywood Brown and Travis Kelce, I mean, they're going to have a really good receiving core, very much improved heading into next season. But that about does it for this mock draft. Did a little bit of different scenarios here. Overall, pretty happy with the way it went. If you enjoyed, leave a thumbs up. And if you like content like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you don't follow me on Twitch already, it's linked down below. And have a great rest of your day.